I never imagined the worst day of my life would begin like any other morning. The sky looked normal, the streets sounded ordinary, and nothing warned me what was coming. I walked into the office carrying hope I had protected for years. People smiled at me, but their smiles felt strangely distant. There was tension in the air I could not explain. My boss called for an emergency company meeting. Everyone gathered in the main conference hall. I felt my heart beating faster for no clear reason. Then he stepped onto the stage and looked directly at me. That was the moment my life changed forever. He began speaking about loyalty, trust, and leadership. At first, his words sounded inspiring to everyone in the room. Then his tone slowly shifted into something colder. He started describing a failure inside the company. I felt confusion growing in my chest. People began turning their heads toward me. My name had not been said yet, but I already knew. My hands started shaking under the table. I tried to stay calm and breathe slowly. Then he finally said my name out loud. The silence that followed felt louder than any scream. He accused me of destroying an important project. He said the company had lost millions because of me. Gas filled the room from every direction. I tried to speak, but he didn't let me. He presented documents that looked convincing to everyone else. My coworkers stared at me like I was a stranger. Some looked disappointed, others looked satisfied. I realized someone had planned this carefully, and I was standing alone in the center of it. He told security to escort me out immediately. No chance to defend myself was given. No one stood up to question the story. I walked past rows of silent faces. Each step felt heavier than the last. My entire career collapsed in less than 10 minutes. Outside the building, the air felt painfully cold. I kept asking myself how this could be real. Years of loyalty erased in a single speech. I thought everything was truly over, but what hurt the most was not losing the job. It was realizing who stood behind the betrayal. The man destroying me in public was someone I once trusted. I had helped him build his reputation from nothing. I had protected his secrets without hesitation. I believed we were partners, maybe even friends. Seeing him look at me with emptiness broke something inside me. That moment replayed in my mind again and again. I wondered if any of it had ever been real. The pain felt deeper than failure itself. For days, I couldn't sleep properly. My phone stayed silent, except for bank notifications. Savings began disappearing faster than I expected. Job applications received no responses. Rumors about me spread across the industry. Doors closed before I could even knock. I felt invisible and exposed at the same time. Some nights I questioned my own worth. Other nights I felt anger burning inside me. Still, I refused to completely give up. One evening, an unknown email arrived. At first I almost ignored it, but something told me to open it. Inside were files connected to the project I was blamed for. Real files, untouched and undeniable. They showed changes made after my access was removed. Someone had rewritten history to frame me, and the evidence pointed to only one person, the same man who humiliated me publicly. That was when the truth finally surfaced. My hands trembled while reading every document. Part of me felt terrified by what I discovered. Another part felt strangely calm. For the first time, I wasn't powerless anymore. I had proof strong enough to destroy everything he built, but revenge suddenly didn't feel simple. I remembered who I used to be, someone who believed in justice, not cruelty. I knew my next step would define my future, so I chose patience over rage. Weeks passed while I stayed silent. He continued rising inside the company. News articles praised his leadership and vision. Everyone believed his version of the story. Meanwhile, I prepared quietly in the background. I organized evidence piece by piece. I contacted people who still trusted me. Not many answered, but a few did. That was enough to begin, because truth only needs one door to open. An unexpected opportunity appeared from a smaller firm. They didn't care about the rumors. They only cared about what I could actually do. I accepted the job with quiet determination. No celebration, no announcement, just work. Day after day, I rebuilt my confidence. Project after project, I proved my value again. Slowly, my name started meaning something positive. Not loudly, but steadily. Like light returning after a long storm. Months later, the industry conference arrived. The biggest leaders were all attending, including him. I wasn't planning confrontation at first. I only wanted to move forward peacefully. But fate had different plans waiting. A panel discussion about ethics was announced, and somehow I was invited to speak. I felt the past standing right in front of me. There was no more hiding from it. When I stepped onto the stage, the lights felt familiar. The same kind of stage where I was once destroyed. This time, my heart was calm. I wasn't there to attack anyone. I was there to tell the truth. Not with anger, but with clarity. The audience listened carefully. Even he sat in the front row, watching me with unreadable eyes, waiting for what I would say next. I began with my story of failure, not blaming anyone, just sharing facts. The room stayed completely silent. Then I revealed the hidden timeline of the project. Screens displayed real documents, real signatures, real dates. Whispers spread across the audience. Faces changed from curiosity to shock. Truth was finally breathing in public. He tried to interrupt the presentation, but the moderator stopped him politely. Evidence continued appearing one after another. There was no dramatic shouting, no emotional explosion, just calm, undeniable reality. That calmness felt more powerful than revenge, because truth didn't need anger to win. It only needed light. And the room was now full of it. When I finished speaking, silence returned. But this silence felt different. Not empty, but heavy with realization. People looked at him, not at me. Questions formed without words. His confidence slowly disappeared. For the first time, he looked afraid. Not of me, but of consequences. And consequences had finally arrived. The following days changed everything quickly. Investigations opened inside the company. Board members demanded explanations. Media stories shifted direction overnight. My name was cleared publicly. His reputation began collapsing quietly. No dramatic scandal, just steady truth. Exactly the way lies once spread about me. Balance had returned in an unexpected way, and I felt strangely peaceful. People expected me to celebrate. Some expected revenge or anger, but I felt neither. Winning didn't feel loud. It felt quiet and warm, like breathing freely after being underwater. I realized something important then. Justice is not about destroying someone. It's about restoring what was broken, including yourself. One afternoon, he asked to meet me. I almost refused, but curiosity convinced me to go. He looked older than I remembered, not physically, but emotionally. His voice lacked the confidence it once had. He tried to apologize carefully. Words sounded heavy and uncertain. I listened without interrupting, because closure sometimes needs silence. When he finished, the room felt still. I understood his regret was real, but regret doesn't erase damage. Trust once broken rarely returns the same. Still, I didn't hate him anymore. Hatred would only chain me to the past. So I chose something harder. I chose to let go, not for him, but for myself. Walking out of that meeting felt different. Not like defeat, not even like victory. It felt like freedom. The weight I carried for months disappeared. The future suddenly looked wide again. Possibilities replaced fear. Hope returned quietly. And this time, it felt stronger, because it survived the worst. I kept working, growing, and learning. Success came slowly but honestly. No shortcuts, no hidden games. People trusted me for real reasons. That mattered more than any title. Life became peaceful in simple ways. Morning coffee tasted better again. Sleep came without nightmares. Smiles felt natural, not forced. Healing was finally complete. Looking back now, I understand everything differently. That public destruction was not the end. It was the beginning of truth. Pain became a strange kind of teacher. Loss created unexpected strength. Silence revealed hidden power. And patience protected my future. Nothing was meaningless after all. Even the darkest moment had purpose. I just couldn't see it then. If you're standing in your worst day right now, listen closely. Humiliation is not the final chapter. Betrayal is not the whole story. Silence does not mean weakness. Truth moves slowly, but it moves. And when it arrives, it changes everything. Not always loudly, but always completely. Just like it did for me. And maybe one day, for you too.